Hi there. I thought I'd do a short tutorial on solving equations for different variables. I know there's a few students that have some problems with this, so maybe some people will, this will help you. So, solving equations. So all this comes down to using properties of equivalence. So these properties are in some ways are pretty self-evident, like they're kind of obvious, but yet when we go to solve equations, it can be kind of confusing or tricky. So there's two properties. One is addition. I guess addition, subtraction, it's kind of the same thing. That is, if you have if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C. So that's the addition and subtraction. The other one is multiplication. Multiplication. If A equals B, then AC equals BC. And basically what we're saying is what we do to one side, we do to the other. That's probably something I'm sure you've heard in math class. So if you have some equation, if you add C to one side, you have to add C to the other side. That satisfies the properties of equivalence. Likewise, if you have an equation that's A equals B, if you multiply one side by C, you have to multiply the other side by C. So it sounds pretty straightforward, but it can get confusing. Let's do an example here. Fg equals g m1 m2 divided by r squared. And the question is, well, I want to know what m2 is equal to. So to solve that, we want to say solve this equation for m2. So in this case, I'm going to rewrite this equation as Fg equals g m1 over r squared m2. So that's the same equation. I just made it look different. I actually haven't done anything to it. No operations. So if I want to isolate M2, so to do this, I want to quote unquote kind of get rid of this part. And here we use another property that's kind of the property of reciprocals, or a property of reciprocals. Some number times its reciprocal is equal to 1. And that's the property I'm going to use to get rid of this. So if I say A is g m1 over r squared, if I multiply that by 1 over A, it's going to be equal to 1. So the reciprocal of g m1 over r squared is r squared over g m1. So that's equal to 1. That's the thing that we're going to use to isolate m2. So Fg equals g m1 over r squared times r squared over g m1 times m2. Now, coming back to the property of equivalence, if I multiply some side of an equation by c, or in this case this guy, I have to do the same to this side. So I'm going to multiply this side by r squared over g m1. So we can see those actually do cancel out, and I'm left with r squared Fg over big G m1 equals m2. There you go. That's one example. Another example could be 2x plus 15 equals y minus x plus 20. It's the same story, though. We still use those two properties of equivalence to solve these things. If I want to say solve for x, first I'm going to want to group the x's together, and then solve. So grouping x's together, I want to put them all together, so I'll add x to both sides. So I get 3x plus 15 equals y plus 20. So that's pretty good. but I don't want the 15 with the 3x, so I'm going to move it to the other side, so I'll subtract 15 from both sides. And now I'm going to take the reciprocal of 3, multiply both sides by it. I think writing brackets can really help people in this situation if you're still trying to get really good at this. Writing your brackets being really diligent with that will help you get the correct answer. So that cancels out. X equals 1/3 y plus 5. And if you want to distribute that, you can go y over 3 plus 5/3. So there you go. Just a short review of solving equations. The main thing though that the reason I wanted to go through this is just to really clarify though that whenever we do stuff in math, it always comes back to some property or some theorem. It's not just just done out of some trick or some trick that someone's told you along the way. I think really typical situation that would be like when you see something like 7 over x equals 8 over 9, and like people say, well, you just cross multiply, and it's true, that'll give you the right answer, but like, why does it give you the right answer? It's because of the equivalence. If I want to isolate the x, first I'll multiply both sides by x, so that gives me 7 equals 8 9x, and then I'll multiply both sides by the reciprocal of this. And then I get 56 over 8 equals x. Anyways, maybe that helps someone. Thanks.